my name is Swapnesh Dubey and I'm one of the co-producers of Amphibian Productions.
Hello, I'm Jamie Miller, owner of Firelight Australia.
Hi, I'm Glenn and I'm the director of this production of Bent. When I think globally about Bent, I think it's just an amazing play to see. When I think of Bent in India, I think it's an amazing play to see, to highlight where the LGBTQ community is here in India. It's art, yet again, educating the people.
But Bent is a good play for the reasons that it is full of optimism. It has hope in it.
Being a rainbow person is okay in Australia. It's okay in most of the developed world. It's even celebrated. However, in India, being a rainbow person has only recently been made legal, and it's often not accepted. I have met rainbow people in India who have had family members try to maim them simply for not being so-called normal. That is not acceptable.
It's about educating people through art and opening doorways into stories that they may not have heard before, and always going away with more questions than answers. I think audiences are much cleverer than we think. I mean, just because the play is set in Dachau, it's talking about Nazis, it's talking about that whole period of time. I mean, they know what we're talking about. It's a story and we're telling it. I think audiences are very, very clever, and we don't need to change from samosa to sandwich. They know we're talking about food. I have a lot of faith in audiences if the story is told well. I think initially there'll be an absolute fascination about the production. I think people will be fascinated by the fact that it's Indians with brown skin who are telling a story about Nazi Germany. People will understand the reasons that we're doing the play, not necessarily from an Indian perspective, but by Indians on a global stage. First readings are always fantastic. I love that sense that by the end of the journey, we're going to look back to the first reading and think, wow, we've got so much to learn, and that we will learn that. And it's a challenge for everyone, and especially for this play. I think it's a massive challenge for some of the actors, and it's a massive challenge for me. And how do we approach the play and recognise its core subject matter, but to bring it into the 21st century and to bring it into another culture telling the story. It's very, very exciting.
Honestly, for anyone who stands against fascism, who stands against human rights violations, and there are many, and they come from all parts of society. So I think it's obviously for queer community to come and see that Indians are making contemporary art which is world class, and their stories are not just small stories, or tokenism is not happening there. It's a real story that is being told by people. But for straight people, it's more about also looking at fascism, what fascism can cause. They might not be under attack, but they can be.
There is a genuine need for storytelling of a rainbow kind inside India that tells us that there is a ready-made audience for a good rainbow play.
That's where Bent is really interesting choice, because it talks about queer subject especially, but then it talks about fascism, it talks about a violation, and that connects everyone.
This is contemporary Indian theatre. Indian art is not just classical music or classical dance that visits the festivals internationally. There's amazing contemporary film and theatre and music and dance, and this is what this production will be. It's contemporary Indian theatre for the world.
Being Indian makes the story more believable to an Indian audience. But there's something in it for the West too. It means that we can see our own world, or at least a world from our relatively recent past, through different eyes.
Bent needs to be shown to Indian audiences to start the conversation that if you don't stand for yourself, then nobody can. Amphibian Productions exist on the idea that we create stories that are relevant not only to India, but also internationally.